What's up, Amazon sellers? Today, I'm going to share with you my top selling categories for Q1 in my Amazon UK business. And I'm going to give you some pros and cons and some advice that are going to really support you when sourcing from these top product categories in your Amazon UK business for Q1. Stay tuned. Right, if you're new to this channel, my name is Thomas Parkinson. I've been selling on Amazon now for the last 5 years, and I'm a 7-figure Amazon seller in the UK and also the USA. Now, do make sure you hit the subscribe button down below if you want to learn more about my journey and what I'm learning as well and sharing in this channel. Now, in this video today, I'm going to talk a little bit about number 1, my backstory. Number 2, I'm going to talk about my top selling products as well for Q1, obviously what I've learned from my years of selling in Amazon. And then finally, number 3, I'll give you some top tips and tricks which will really help you out and things to think about while sourcing for this quarter. So let's get started. So first things first, let's give you a little bit of an introduction. Now look, as you might all know, and I mentioned earlier, I've been selling on Amazon for the last 5 years, and predominantly that's been in the UK marketplace, and we've been doing the online arbitrage model. Now with those years of experience, I've learned a lot, and also I've done a lot of things wrong. And what I want to do is I want to share my learnings with you, which can hopefully help you during the Q1 period. Now, you might be asking, why is this important? Well, if you have no idea which products to buy and sell within that period, also from which category, you're probably going to start buying the wrong things. And for example, if I were to say, which sounds quite obvious, if you're going to buy Christmas products in Q1, it's going to be a disaster. Hence why I want to share this content with you today to help you out in your Q1 experience and incorporate them into your business. Okay guys, so I want to ask you the question, before I share my top categories for you, what categories are you thinking about sourcing in Q1? Let me know in the comments down below. Beauty, toys, games, DIY, sports and outdoor, Christmas categories, I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so this leads me nicely on to my second chapter, my top selling categories in Q1, and that's what you've really come here for. The first category you should be thinking about, and one that I quite like as well, is the computers and accessory category. Now, what I will say about this category is a little bit different, is that I've seen that most products in this category have big profits because they're much higher value items, and therefore you can make more profits and obviously make more money. Now, in addition to that, computers and accessories have less competition. Why? Well, I believe one of the factors is that the category is generally a category that most items are pretty expensive. Now, this also leads me on to the cons, should we say, of selling on the computers and accessory category. Now, considering, this has high selling price, which obviously is big profits, that's great. The also disadvantage is the fact that it is expensive. It costs a lot more money. And so the bigger the profit, obviously the bigger the cost. And obviously if you get it wrong, you can potentially make bigger losses if you make bad decisions. Now, the other negative, should we say, is the fact that suppliers do cancel orders. Why? They don't say, well, they say the purposes are not for resale, so they do that, but also as well, maybe they can't ship the amount of stock that you want. Sometimes the product we buy for this category might be in the £200, £300, £400 plus range, which is quite expensive for a product. In the computer section, it's absolutely fine. But when you're trying to buy 10, 20 of them, they're like, this isn't for a normal purpose, this is looked for resale. And as a result, they're going to cancel their orders. What do I recommend is when buying computers from suppliers, don't buy in bulk like that I've done in the past, 10, 20, because they're probably going to cancel your orders. Instead, buy like 2, 3, maybe up to 5, and then wait a few days, make sure they're shipped, and then do it again and then again. Maybe use different accounts. Maybe use like the Gmail, like Tom at Gmail, Tom+1 at Gmail, Tom+2 at Gmail. They all go to the same Gmail inbox. Those little hacks can really help you out. So that's going to help you out in that category that I really like. Now, my second category for you is sports and outdoors. Based on, should we say, our experience in the category, we've seen that these items are fast selling and have big profits. And not only that, there's also a lot of suppliers that will generally let you have bulk orders. I've ordered pallets. They've literally called us up and said, would you like a pallet? You're like, yeah, fine. And it's not one, it's like 7. I've got pictures of them. So you won't have to worry about orders being cancelled. Now, in addition to this, Q1, January, everyone is making like New Year's resolutions. Guess what the most common New Year's resolution is? To lose weight, to get fit and healthy. Sports and outdoor, healthy equipment, voila. It's going to be this. So really good time of year for it. Now, along with the pros, the cons of selling sports and outdoor, as we've experienced, there's a lot of private label brands. Now, you might be asking yourself, why is this an issue? Well, if you sell an item that's a private label brand or a branded item that they don't want you to sell, it's very likely, or more than likely, you're going to get an IP complaint, an intellectual property complaint on Amazon. An IP complaint are legal actions brought by one party against another party when they feel they've infringed on their intellectual property. And as a result, what happens is one party complains to Amazon about you selling their brand, you get a mark on your account. If you get too many marks on your account, you can lose your account. It's not like you can create another Amazon selling account, so just be very mindful. If you're interested in learning about what brands you really want to stay away from, do check out the FastTrackFBA IP brand checker. I'll drop a link down below. That's going to help you. We list all the brands, UK, USA marketplace, that we have problems with or that we ever detect or that other people report, and you can report there as well. That just helps you out understanding that. So do check that out. Now, what I would also advise you to do is when sourcing under this category is to try and ungate in the big brands, because these are generally going to be the items that are fast selling. Nike, Reebok, Adidas, for example, get ungated in them, they really work. Now, the third category on my list for you to really look at here is the electronics and photos. Interesting category. Now, when we say electronics and photos, these are things like tablets, cameras, ebooks, readers, just like computers and accessories that I mentioned before. It's got a high purchase price. And what does that mean? Well, generally high profits, which means more money for you and me. What also makes this category different from computers and the accessories is based on our experience, there are generally fewer order cancellations. And I absolutely love this. So you can spend a lot more money. We always talk about spend, but also as well, you can buy more, buy bigger orders, and they're generally not getting cancelled. Absolutely fantastic. Now, this leads me to the cons of, the electronics and the photo section. Now, like I said earlier, this category has a high profit, but again, the bigger profit can lead to the higher buying price, which means it's going to cost you more money. Now, not only that, just like the computer and accessory section, if you get any damage or any products, customer return, there's damage, for example, it could lead to bad customer reviews and obviously high defects, which are going to cost you more. So returns cost you more. Something to really consider in this. So my top tip when sourcing under this category is just make sure that you're really packaging things right so they're not going to get damaged. But another top tip as well, and one thing we have seen, is a lot of suppliers might be shipping from abroad, for example, Hong Kong or China outside the EU, but even within the EU to the UK, because prices can be cheaper. Now, one of the problems this has is the fact that the plugs aren't actually UK plugs. There may be a foreign plug with an adapter. Now, anything sold on Amazon has to come with a UK supply plug, not an adapter to the UK supplied plug. That's in terms under Amazon. You've got to make sure that's happening. If you don't do this, if it doesn't have that right plug in there, you are likely to get a bad review, and that's going to cause you a problem. So you've got to make sure that you're buying from UK-based suppliers, or if you're not, they have UK plugs, and you know it for a fact. Adapters aren't allowable. Trust me, we've been caught by that one, and we've got the bad reviews. Don't make the same mistake as me. Now, the fourth category I'm going to mention for you is health and personal care. Now, based on our experience in this category, we've seen that there are many suppliers who are not limiting orders, meaning to say that you can do multiple orders at once. Not only that, the health and personal care category is also selling at any season, simply because it's basics. It's something that we need every single day, always reusing at all times. So it's a reoccurring purchase, means replenishables for you. Now, that's some of the pros. What about the cons? Well, one of the big issues we find with this category and a lot of the kind of beauty products is the expiration dates. Amazon are getting hotter and hotter on it. Now, the one thing which I said, if you are buying products in this category, you need to make sure your products have at least 2 years before they expire. Now, you've got to double check that, and if you are buying them and trying to ship them to Amazon, don't take the risk. If you're buying them and they don't have it, you shouldn't be shipping them in. Why? Because we've seen it time and time again. What happens is, and we did this previously with the coffee machine once, by the way. They had a coffee machine and a bundle with coffee, and we shipped it in, everything was fine. The coffee was in there for like 3-4 months. Someone bought them, said, hey, the coffee's gone out of date. Amazon checked the whole batch we had in Amazon's warehouses and made them unfulfillable. This was like £5,000 worth of stock. It was like incredible. So for you is just make sure, Amazon say you've got to have 2 years shelf life. You've got to make sure that when you ship them in, they've got 2 years shelf life, because Amazon might not check them at shipping. They might check them afterwards. And if they haven't got that 2 years because they get a complaint and then Amazon now check them, you might lose that entire batch. So just be mindful of that. And obviously you're not going to be able to refund it to the customer or the supplier 3-4 months later because you haven't done it quick enough. So be very mindful. You've got to buy them with at least 2 years before they expire. That's a really important point. Now, if you want to learn more about expiration dated products, I'll drop a link to a video above I created called What You Need to Do When Selling Products with an Expiration Date. Check that out. I think you'll love it. Now, the fifth and the final category I'm going to recommend for you is called pet supplies. Now, in this category, we've seen that pet supplies are fast selling, and it's also a basic need, for all households. Everyone loves their pets, absolutely love them, and they're trying to treat them well, but they need to keep buying these things. So most items are going to be things like pet food, dental sticks, and much, much more that you can keep replenishing on. Now, it's got a massive range of products that you can think about. So you can think about cats, dogs, birds, fishes, so much opportunity to buy, and you can go down each niche for each individual type of animal. I love that range, and I think that's a really big positive, and the replenishable nature of it really helps us out. And also, a lot of the big pet suppliers give discounts, which I absolutely love. You can find voucher codes. Now, with this in mind, one thing which I'll say on the con side of it, the pet side, is that a lot of these items, especially like dog food, they're going to be heavy. So it means higher fees. With that being said, you want to consider things like shipping and storage fees to avoid any losses. Okay, so today I'm talking about my top categories, the Q1 in the UK. And the one thing which I will say is, why are you interested in this? It's probably because you're looking for deals. And I really understand that. At the end of the day, we've got money, we want to be buying deals. So important. So what can I recommend for you if you're looking for deals a little bit faster? Well, do check out FastTrackFBA online arbitrage deals. This is a service I created whereby you can access all the deals that my own product sourcing team find. Now we've got a UK-based UK team and a USA team. And what you can do is you can come into my platform, you can literally see all the deals for free. It costs you nothing. And then what you can do is when you found the deals you like, you buy tokens from us, and then you unlock only the deals you want when you want, unlock the supplier ASIN or supplier URL and the Amazon ASIN. And then what you can do is go through, buy the product from the supplier, and then ship it into Amazon, make a profit. Now, the unique thing about FastTrackFBA online arbitrage deals is the fact that you are in control. You get to pick and choose the deals that you want, and you can obviously get refunds as well if there are any problems. If you're gated, if you're out of stock, if the prices have changed, we keep them all updated so you can see the live data coming through. And then what happens is you can unlock only the deals that you want. What I will say is have a look at the link down below. It's completely game changing. No one does anything like this, and I think you're absolutely going to love it. Now, this leads me nicely on to my third and final chapter, top tips. Now, look, what do I recommend for you? First things first, number one, always be checking the keeper graph. Now, if you're searching right now in December, you should definitely be opening that keeper graph back up for a whole year. Looking at January this year, because December is a very different time of the year than January is. What you're looking for is to see what happened in January this year and predict what will happen in January next year. Even if you're sourcing in January right now, still go back and have a look at what happened last January. 1 month ago was December. That's going to be a very different catalog or very different product or sales velocity than what happened January last year. Check that out. That's what you're interested in. Now, number two, I really recommend building your own data. Let's say, for example, you're just starting on Amazon, you're not sure where to go. Well, look, every single day you are sourcing, every day you're looking at these deals and selling products, you really need to be building your own record of products that are going to help you determine what's working well and what's not from the sales that you are making, the data you are collecting. I cannot stress this enough. We do it at the USS, it's game changing, and it has allowed our business to grow. If I talk about it this way, 80 to 85% of every purchase we make every single week is from ASINs we have previously purchased. What we've done is taken the data that we've used before, the deals that we've purchased, and we're buying them again. Now, the third top thing I recommend for you is review last year's records of Q1 if you've been selling. Now, if you have your own records already, you can go through and see which categories are selling in Q1. And by doing this, you're going to have an idea of what products are likely to sell in this period and how many units you should be buying and how many you need to stock, what sold out quickly, what didn't. And by reviewing that record, you're going to make sure you're going to be sourcing from the suppliers which allowed you to buy big last year. Maybe you can buy bigger this year. And also, you're probably not going to be focusing on those suppliers which cancelled orders last year. And again, you're going to be stopping that this year. There's some top tips for you there. Now, what I will say is after going through the top selling Amazon Arbitrage UK categories in Q1, you might want to consider learning about the different techniques when sourcing products online. And I'll drop a playlist around here called Sourcing 101. Check that out. I hope you'll like that, and that's going to really level up the game. Now, if you like this video here, do give me a big thumbs up. And hey, if you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. For myself, Thomas Parkinson, FastTrackFBA. Thank you very much.